Phil.
Are you listening? Damn.
What's up, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Race to 100. I am your co-host, Neil Batang.
I am Rick Storcell, and we are on episode number 18.
Do you know how to say 18 in Spanish?
Ocho Cinco.
Close. It's Diese Ocho. We are on episode Diese Ocho. Excuse me. I've been working on my Spanish.
I can tell.
It's I kind of want to show it off a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm feeling myself a little bit, and maybe I'm jumping ahead. So today we're going to talk about something very interesting. Why don't you take it away, Rix?
We are going to be talking about a recent poll conducted on the Native American population over the Washington Redskins name, which, for those of you, I'm sure everyone's heard of this at least a little bit, that there's this huge controversy about whether or not to keep the Washington Redskins name or to get rid of it because it's a racist slur. And so a recent poll came out that surveyed about 400 or so Native Americans, asked their perspective of did they care about the name. It came back and 90% of them said that they did not care that the Washington Redskins were named.
Of the Native Americans?
The Native Americans. So about
Native Americans in the Washington area?
I think this was nationally.
Nationally.
I believe it was nationally. I'd have to double check that though.
Okay. Well, I guess it's kind of hard to measure that because when you're talking about Native Americans, I mean, you don't meet any indigenous Native Americans anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
these are ones who have been unfortunately exiled to reservations that people don't even know where to find, and casinos, etc. So it's like, okay, are we talking about the Latino with a little bit of Cherokee in him?
No, we're talking about full blown Native Americans. Okay. And basically, the impression that I got from reading the breakdown of this poll in the news article was that the Native Americans they have a lot of issues within their own community, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's poverty, whether it's lack of education, all sanitation. All of these things are a little more important than the name of a professional football team. So when it comes to seeing it as a pressing issue that needs justice, it's not a priority. At least that's the impression that I got from it.
So why then? My question, 'cause I swear I've been hearing about this since 5th grade. I remember.
Really, the Washington Redskins?
No, not the Washington Redskins specifically, but the use of Native American mascots to represent professional football teams or any football team.
Our beloved Illini.
Exactly. The Fighting Illini, the Cleveland Indians, your Washington Redskins, just to name a few.
Yeah.
So it's like, if no one cares, why does it keep hitting the media? Why is this always a topic of conversation? We're saying it's part of American history.
Yeah.
It is, it's part of our heritage. It makes us who we are, etc. Those that are against it say that it is incredibly offensive to the culture of Native Americans. How can you use a slur? I've heard people use the counter-argument, I've heard people use the argument to say, how come we don't have any mascots that say redneck? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's never any mascot, you know what I'm saying?
That disparages the white culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I'm getting at. So, before we end this episode, what do you think about the whole? What's your take on the use of Native American mascots to represent sports teams?
I feel like I'm inclined to say that it should be changed. To me, it's a team name. I mean, team names change all the time, right? I mean, maybe not all the time, but team names do change.
Yeah.
Teams relocate, they move, they end up changing their name.
Yeah.
It happens. And when you look at the stuff that goes into the name of the Redskins, for me, there's more harm than good in keeping it as it is.
Ricks.
Yes.
Excuse me. Not all of the names. I don't think we should completely eliminate the use of Native American names in professional sports, but some, yes. Illini isn't a slur. Indians isn't a slur. Redskins, those were slurs.
Mm-hmm.
Those are what the Europeans, the Spanish, referred to the Native Americans, the indigenous people of North America, when they came over here and did god-awful things to this group of people. And I am not an advocate for that. So I'm not an advocate for completely eliminating, but
when you say changing the Redskins?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then it's weird, too, because
absolutely.
Despite the fact that they are Native Americans, their culture is probably one of the least examined cultures out there. I mean, I don't know too much about the Native American culture. Do you?
Well, like you said a little bit earlier, I know anyone who's considered a Native American, a descendant of the Native Americans that found and settled here in this continent. They've been exiled to reservations in places that we don't know of the location and are unfortunately struggling with a lot of issues within themselves and their community. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But yeah, I don't think I'm down with the whole Redskins name if we're keeping things consistent.
Yeah.
You know, that's just me.
I just don't see why the owner of the Redskins is so vehemently opposed to not changing the name.
Well, that messes up the money. I mean,
Yeah, you gotta like
think about
redo all your merchandise.
No. But think about. I mean, people identify with those teams, like the identity, the colors. Like it's a marketing like frenzy. Like let me tell you, when the Charlotte Hornets changed their name to the Charlotte Bobcats.
Yeah.
Okay, that team lost its value. The value of that team depreciated significantly. They changed their name, they changed their color, they changed their whatever. That team was like one of those cool, like up and coming teams of the 90s. So when they switched to the Bobcats in the early 2000s, everyone hated them. The team took a dive in sales. They lost more games than normal.
You just gotta come up with a better name. You got to come up with like the
but let me tell you what happened.
Avengers or something like that.
So this is what happened. Michael Jordan bought the team for a cheaper price than your normal sports team because the team lost a lot of value.
Yeah.
And then he brought them back to the Charlotte Hornets. They are the Charlotte Hornets again.
Yeah.
And they went back to those old colors they had before. All right. Now they've got a nice young team around them. What am I saying? Guys are vehemently opposed to changing the names of those teams because it will affect the value of the team and ultimately how people perceive it to be.
That's a great point.
That Redskins team, did they win some titles? I'm pretty sure in the 80s. I'm pretty sure that Redskins team, they won some titles. So a lot of those people in the Washington area identify with that Redskins team. A lot of them believe those colors, and if you change that name, you got to change the colors. It's going to affect their sales, and they're already terrible.
Yeah, and DC is not a very great place.
They should. No, it's not bad, but they should have kept. They should have kept RG3. But that's just me. But anyway, let us know what you guys think about this whole Redskins issue with the Washington Redskins of the NFL. What do you guys think? Should they keep it the same? Should they change it? Should they completely revamp the franchise? Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. Let us know what you think about the whole issue surrounding the Washington Redskins changing the name of their team or keeping it the same. We'd love to hear what you guys think.
And we will catch you next time on the Race to 100.
Thank you.
Peace.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, that's gonna be
like a
like
little
so
girl
much
there.
editing. Holy.
He said, yeah.
Come on.